Today we will be performing a frog dissection. Begin by observing the external anatomy of the frog, such as looking at its fingers and determining whether or not it is a male or female. Next, begin by pinning the frog down to the dissection tray so it does not move while you are completing your dissection. Next, cut down the midline of the chest in a sagittal cut and perform 2 transversal cuts in order to create a fold in the skin layer so that you can pull it back and pin it down. Next, perform the same procedures to the left side in order to fully expose the muscle layer. Once you are finished that, your frog should look like this. Then begin by cutting down the muscle layer in the same sagittal and transversal cuts to fully expose the organs lying dorsal. Since it is a frog, it will have 3 different livers. And once you dissect those livers, you will have a better view of all the organs lying dorsal. The livers are all lateral and proximal to each other. This makes them easy to dissect because they only have one connection. Cut away at each liver and make sure not to damage any organs that are neighboring it. Next, observe the internal anatomy with your teammates and check that it is properly placed and check all the connections and observe it. As you can see here, these are some of the organs that you should be able to see, such as the small intestine, which is largely used for digestion and the absorption of digested food. The fat bodies are generally used to store fat in the frog. The heart will pump blood to organs that require it, while the spleen makes, stores, and destroys blood cells. The large intestine will store undigested food, and the stomach stores food and mixes it with enzymes that begin digestion. These are also some organs that you will have to dissect in order to go deeper into the respiratory system and properly dissect the respiratory system. To state some facts about the respiratory system of a frog is that it has 3. One comes from the lungs, the other comes from the skin, and one from the lining of the mouth. This shows a lung dissection, which allows us to more deeply look at the lungs and one of the main parts of the respiratory system. Since the lungs are a part of the frog's respiratory system, they're mainly used to take in oxygen and as well as allow an exchange of gases throughout the body. To elaborate on the lung dissection, it is very tough to find the lungs, and since they are very small, so I would recommend being very careful and slow. In addition, the mouth cavity is also essential in the frog obtaining its oxygen. It allows it to draw air into its mouth, which causes the throat to expand due to the air being compressed. This allows the frog to breathe in another way. In addition, the skin is also used through a respiration known as cutaneous respiration. It is a form of respiration in which a gas exchange occurs across the skin and of an organism rather than the gills or the lungs. In this case, the lungs and the mouth cavity. This is a small overview of the organs you should have dissected. And that is it for today. Thank you for watching.